Hi everyone, my name is Dawn. I am one of the yoga and mindfulness teachers here at Intermountain Health, and I'm coming to you with this mat practice that is adaptable. If you decide you want to grab a chair for it, there are a lot of things you can do from the chair, or even use it or something else to balance with. We'll be going through some modified sun salutations, and something to keep in mind with anything that we're doing is if there's any discomfort in the body, then please back off. Please shift what you're doing. I love to use these yoga blocks myself to make things a little bit more easeful for me. And so you're welcome to use blocks, a chair, a wall. I'm also sitting on a blanket, and I also have a bolster nearby. So you can use as many props as you would like or need to, and you can pause this video, go grab what you need at any time, okay? But for now, go ahead and find a seat that's comfortable, and that could be sitting up on one of your props. Like I said, I'm sitting up on a folded blanket. You can also be sitting in a chair. Let your hands come to rest. Let your eyes soften. They can be opened or closed. And take a full deep breath to let yourself tune into what's showing up in your body right now. Identify for yourself what brings you to this practice. What's your intention? And now bringing hands to connect at heart center. We'll seal the intention that you've set in with a bow towards your heart. Then softly open your eyes, release your hands down, and lift your gaze. And now we'll take a few movements from our seat. So inhale, sweep your arms wide and up overhead. Exhale, gentle twist over to the left side. Inhale, arms wide and up. Exhale, over to the right side. Inhale, wide and up. And now exhale, hands come to your heart. And we'll do that series one more time. Inhale, reach arms up. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, reach arms up. And exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, reach arms up. And exhale, hands to your heart. And now move your shoulder blades onto your back and allow your hands to draw as low as is comfortable without the bottoms of your hands coming apart. Spread your fingers a little wider and push gently. From there, a little rocking up and down with your fingers. And now bring your hands back to back. And then rock a little forward and back with your hands. And now as you release your hands down, we'll switch the cross of our legs, coming to maybe the less comfortable side for yourself. And then move your sitting bones back and broad. And now hands out to your knees. As you exhale, press your spine back into a cat-like pose. Inhale, tilt belly and heart forward. Exhale, press the spine back. Inhale, belly and heart forward. And one more breath this way. And then come back to a neutral place. And we're going to take some big arm circles, one at a time. So we're inhaling, left arm up and back, turning your torso with it. And now, next inhale, circle your arm all the way back to the front. And now the other arm, inhale, right arm up and around, turning your torso with it. Wait for your next inhale to bring your arm up and around and back to the front. And we're gonna do that one more time. Inhale, left arm up and around, turn your torso. Wait for your next inhale, up and around and back to the front. And one more time with the right arm, inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. And now we're gonna come forward onto hands and knees. And from hands and knees, I want you to set yourself up, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. And you might be using blocks to help you make this transition, or you might be staying on hands and knees. If you want, you can tuck toes under and lift hips up and back into a downward facing dog pose, or you can stay on hands and knees, but take a full big breath. And then walking your way forward, coming into your forward fold. And again, you can do that from hands and knees, or you can do that with props. From your forward fold, feet are inner hip distance or wider. Take an inhale and lengthen. Lift your heart part way, lift your sitting bones up. Exhale and fold. And when you fold, you might be with elbows at your knees or thighs instead, or you might have hands on props. Then hands up to your knees, keep a bend to your knees and walk your hands up your legs to rise up to stand, coming into your mountain pose. As you come to your mountain pose, reset your feet to about inner hip bone distance apart and parallel versus outer hips. So make that shift, ankles under inner hips, okay? Inhale, stretch arms up overhead, little bit of a back bend, just a tiny one. Keep a little engagement through low belly and ribs to support your back body. Then as you come back upright, you're exhaling, bending knees to hinge at the hips and fold. Inhale, lengthen. Extend your heart, lift sitting bones. Exhale and fold. And now we're planting fingertips and stepping right foot back into your lunge, right knee down to the ground, to a blanket, to a prop. Stay with hands down or bring them up to your hips to lift up here. Take a big inhale, extend through your heart. Exhale, hands come down to the front of your mat. And then you're either stepping back to hands and knees. Again, you can do that with blocks or props under your hands. Or you're lifting hips up and back to a downward facing dog pose. Take a full big breath. Choice to stay here or to come down onto your knees and then hips back to heels into a child's pose. Or you're gonna inhale, come forward to a plank. I'm using knees down myself. Exhale, bend elbows and lower. Inhale, curl up and open into the height cobra that serves you tonight. Exhale through hands and knees to down dog or stay on hands and knees. Take a big breath. From hands and knees or down dog, you're working your way forward to your forward fold at the front of your mat. Take as many steps as you need. Use props if you would like. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale and fold. Hands to hips this time. Lift up and back through your shoulders. Knees are bent and then we'll unhinge the hips to rise. And as you come up to stand, find your mountain pose. Once again, feet inner hip distance apart and parallel. You're turning palms forward, lifting up and back through your shoulders. Take a full breath. Soften shoulders, soften through your jaw, soften through your eyes. Inhale, stretch up overhead. Little bit of a back bend. Remember, core is tight to support your back. Then as you rise back up, you're exhaling, hinge from the hips and fold, knees are bent. Inhale, lengthen part way, extend your heart. Exhale and fold. Plant fingertips, use props if you would like. Step your left foot back this time into your lunge. Left knee comes to the ground or to a prop, and then hands stay down, or you can bring them up to your hips for that lifted variation. Take a full breath. Exhaling, hands come down to your props or the floor to settle back onto hands and knees or down dog. Full big deep breath. If you'd like, you can take a child's pose, or you can inhale, come forward into a plank with knees on the ground or lifted. Exhale, bend elbows and lower. Inhale, curl up and open into your height cobra. Shoulders are up and back. Exhale, through hands and knees to down dog, or stay on hands and knees. Take one more full breath right here. And then work your way forward, coming into your forward fold at the front of your mat. Take an inhale and lengthen part way. Exhale and fold over your legs. Hands to hips. Lift up through shoulders, lift up through elbows. Knees bent, unhinge the hips and rise. And as you come up to stand, again, mountain pose. Feet inner hip bone distance apart and parallel. Turn your palms forward. Take a moment with your breath. Inhale, stretch up. Little bit of a back bend. Exhale, hinge from the hips and fold. Inhale, lengthen, extend your heart. Exhale and fold. Plant your fingertips. You're stepping right foot back into your lunge. This time your knee stays lifted. We're going to turn and plant the back heel so your foot is parallel to the back short edge of your mat. Inhale, reach up and rise for your warrior. Arms extended from the shoulders. Gaze over your left fingers. Knee is opening and bending. Take a deep breath. Exhaling, hands come down to the front of your mat. Here's a great place to use blocks. We're going to bump our back foot forward a few inches and turn your toes considerably forward. We're working left leg towards straight. And now as you wrap back with your left hip, push your left big toe mound down, and then you're setting your right hand on a prop or the floor if you have longer arms than me or if it feels good. But find where it is that you can extend your heart. Your left thumb is coming into your hip crease. Press back on your hip and start to revolve. Turn your belly and your heart to the left side. Take a full big breath as you open through the shoulders. Revolving, twisting through the torso. Draw in through the ribs to help the twist happen. Exhale, both hands come down to the front of your mat, to props or to the floor. You're tucking your back toes, bending into your front knee and stepping forward. Next exhale, we're stepping left foot back. Turn and plant the back heel. And again, root through the feet. Inhale, lift up into your warrior two position. Bending into your front knee and opening it up all the way from the glute. Reach your arms. Take a full big deep breath. Exhaling, hands come down to the front of your mat, finding your props. And then you're bumping your back foot in and turning your toes more forward. This helps us to be able to find more centering with the hips. So wrap back with your right hip and push your right big toe mound down. Then as you extend your heart further forward, ribs and collarbones move forward, you're setting left hand on your prop, whatever it happens to be, right thumb into your hip crease. Give it a push back and then lengthen your ribs forward again. Turn your belly and your heart to the right side. And remember that it's the ribs that help us twist. So draw in through the ribs and then twist more. Exhale, both hands come down to the front of your mat. You're bending into your front knee as you tuck your back toes and step forward. And now inhale, extend your heart. Exhale and fold. Now hands to hips, press back on hips, lift up with shoulders and elbows, unhinge the hips and rise. And now we're gonna come to our mountain pose one more time, and this time hands to your heart. As you find feet inner hip distance apart and parallel, you can soften your eyes, take a full breath, and just notice your body in this moment. Inhale, stretch arms up. Exhale, soft through the knees to fold over your legs. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale and fold. We're planting hands, and again, you can use props for this transition if you want to. We're stepping back onto our hands and knees. Knees are coming to the ground, hips come back toward heels as far as they need to go. So you might be a little more lifted with your hips, or you might have them closer to the ground. As you settle your head, it can be on a prop or on the floor. Take a full big breath in your child's pose. And then gently push yourself up to your seat. And we're gonna come off to the side with our hips, legs out in front, and we're gonna make our way onto our backs. So I'm gonna turn myself sideways, so maybe there will be a little bit more of a visual for you. As you come down onto your back, any props that you have are close by. And as you settle, hips, shoulders, and head are resting. Pause here and walk your feet out a little wide, drop your knees in together to touch, and then let your breath fill your back body up. And now we're gonna separate our knees and walk our feet even wider, and then drop knees from side to side, taking some windshield wipers with our legs. As you take those windshield wipers, just make a mental note of anything showing up through the lower spine, through the hips, the quads, the hamstrings, whatever's showing up. There's no right or wrong answer. And then bring your legs back into center. Footprints are at the ground. And we're extending right leg toward the ceiling. And then just slightly crossing it to the left side. And we're keeping the right hip on the ground. And take my right thumb into my hip crease and just give it a push. And from there, if you want, you can hold the back of your leg with your left hand. But reach through your heel and diagonally down through your hip. And take another full big breath. And then bring it back into center, bend your knees, set your foot on the ground. And then extend left leg toward the ceiling. You do not have to have it all the way straight. And as a matter of fact, at least a little bend is a helpful thing to do. So now as you take your legs slightly across your body to the right side, you're keeping the left hip down and reaching through your heel. Left thumb into hip crease, give it a push. Hold the back of your thigh with your right hand if you want, and then just take a big breath. And now back into center, bend your knees, set both feet on the ground, and then you're releasing your legs all the way out, maybe setting a prop underneath them, releasing your arms out a ways from your side. And then eyes opened or closed, start to take some deep breaths to let yourself settle here for just a moment. let your breath become a little deeper, longer, more full. Start to move through your fingers, your wrists, even your elbows. Move through your toes, your ankles, your knees. And then bend your knees and roll over to whichever side feels best. And you're just giving your head a little support, resting it on your arm. Take a full big breath. And now extend your top leg long. Use your top hand to help you to push back upright to your seat. And then as you find that comfortable seat once again for yourself, you can prop as much as you'd like. Just pause, eyes opened or closed for a long spine and a full breath. Have a very peaceful, very beautiful rest of your day. Namaste.